This episode of BRB UK is brought to you by our merch store at tpublic.com/store/BRB and also Tabletop Tuesday at Loading, Stoke Newington.
BRB UK. Worse teeth, better accents.
Hello, and indeed, ahoy hoy. Welcome. It's episode 498. Jesus, wet. Of BRB UK. It is a happy, beautiful day here in the U of the K. My name is Dan. I'm one of your hosts. I am joined, as ever, by Tim Hibbs. Say hello.
Hello.
And I'm also joined by may I just say, his facial topiary is particularly well groomed today. It's Coleman.
Hi!
You've got a moustache comb.
Making little mention that I comb my beard before we start.
He was giving it making sure that he's zhuzhed up.
Go get all the
ready
cornflakes
for his
out.
primetime internet FaceTime.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
more like
well,
it. Yeah.
Look, exactly, all the bird droppings and all of that come out of it. Like a small patch of woodland on his face.
Lovely.
Look, old man.
Hi. Hi.
Do you know why it's such good news today? Why it's
I have
such
no
a
idea.
wonderful, wonderful day this
Thursday,
Thursday, the 7th of July. It's wonderful because I might be getting my Steam Deck pre-order email any moment now.
And no other reason.
No other reason at all. Nothing to do with a big fat man no longer being in a big house.
Santa?
No, sirree, Bob.
Except for the fact that he's still there. He's not actually specified when he's leaving.
Well, it's only because
and he didn't actually resign.
they're going to have to knock the ball
Other than
out
that,
to get him out.
it's good.
I think is right.
Crowbar.
So anyway,
big crowbar. That's what I recommend.
Yeah, I'm somewhat loath to ask the question. Could it couldn't be any worse? Could
Maybe
it?
a trail of cookies, just leading away from number 10 to the end of the road. Ooh, cookie. Ooh. Cookie.
Well, just as long as Jacob Rees-Mogg doesn't become PM, then we'll all be living out our Dickensian fantasies and have to be asking everyone for, can I have some more, sir? Can I have some more? Back to the workhouse with you, Hibbs! Back to the workhouse!
If he gets in charge, I think that's going to unleash Cthulhu. So I think we'll be in even more trouble. So,
Well,
Cthulhu? Specifically Cthulhu?
yeah.
Right, okay. No other quasi-demonic entities would be summoned. It would just be Cthulhu.
Just Cthulhu.
I mean, I'm cool with that.
At least there's only
he's
one of
not
them.
just
I think we'll deal with
Dickensian, he's Lovecraftian, is what I'm saying.
Being from
fair enough.
being from a
Fair enough. Well, if it's
Lovecraftian town by
Cthulhu,
the
then-
water, I'm fine with this.
I am just so if Cthulhu does show up, my defense tactic is going to be I'm just going to carry about some calamari rings with me at all times. Just go wah wah. Look, well, I'm eating your mum.
I
That doesn't
think
sound
that's
too
just
right,
going to
actually.
antagonise him.
Ooh,
And there goes our age rating. Cheers.
what? Because his mum is a squid. I'm not eating. I didn't say.
No,
I may be
don't
eating
even.
out,
No. Oh,
but I did put that in the same sentence, so it's okay.
except for the bit where you just did.
What? I did put them in the same sentence. You put them in the same sentence. They were two completely separate sentences until you attempted to juxtapose them, young Timothy.
May I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Can we talk about video games?
Yeah, it's a
All
good
right.
plan.
Please.
All right. Larry for PM. All right. That's last I'll say. Okay. So apologies I wasn't here last week, but I've been trying to play some games, but I see that Tim's been playing some games. Now, the way the cards are going to fall here, there is a game both Coleman and Tim have been playing. There is a game both Tim and I have been playing.
Yes.
And there is a game that only Tim has been playing.
I know.
But there's a game that only you've been playing as well. And as Tim's game and your other game is a game Tim spoke about last week,
We'll leave
that's
that for
the-
now.
that's probably the
not
lowest
really, but-
priority.
Yes.
So I reckon knowing, ladies, if you've ever noticed how this podcast goes before, Tim is unable to talk in chunks of less than 20 minutes. So we're going to let Tim go first.
No.
So
I
then
think
me
I
and
should. I think
Coleman
I should entirely
can fit
step
stuff
back
in
this
around.
week. Let you two go into the breach,
Really?
and I'll just back you guys up.
No,
I've got your backs.
No. I actually genuinely want to hear about this game because that's how much of a fun week I've had. I almost downloaded this one.
Okay.
I did. I can
Chorus.
also add to this.
Yeah.
Chorus. Tell me about Chorus on the Xbox.
Yeah, we did speak about this a little bit at the end of last week, but yeah, it's
I possibly cut it for time.
I thought I heard it in there. Anyway, but yeah, like it's a game that
no, it's just your internal monologue, Tim.
Came out a few weeks ago, is on Game Pass. Is possibly worth picking up on other platforms, but if you've got Game Pass, give it a try. I haven't heard a lot of other people talking about it. Coleman seems to have a slightly different opinion to mine, but I thought it was really good fun. It shows It shows it's not entirely AAA budget at times, but what it is a good space shooter.
How many A's are in the budget?
Arcadey style space shooter where it gives you some interesting powers. And one of the things I thought was really good to its credit is it's a really interesting, fleshed out universe, at least on the bad guy side of things. I would say it's a bit underbaked on the your colleagues and friends side of things a little bit. But in terms of the universe and how it works with the different structures of a kind of religious cult that you are an ex-member of, fleeing from them and finding your way in the galaxy, but then that cult coming to your doorstep again where you found yourself sort of set yourself up in space, means that you have to go and find your old ship and kind of get along. And it kind of opens up a little bit more when you first get the ship, but it opens up even more as you unlock the powers that go along with that ship as well, basically.
I have a question.
Yes?
You said it's not a AAA budget. How many A's are in this budget?
I would say 2 to 2.5.
Incorrect. The word budget has no A's. Trick question. Suck it, Hibbs.
Budget. Budget.
Budget.
But yeah, like as I said, I think it's a well-realised universe. I think the game opens up more and more as you get more of the kind of powers that go along with your ship. So the Chorus and the name of the game is actually the name of the alien opposition. Well, alien in inverted commas, don't actually know if that alien, probably humanoid and just a different faction from what I've seen.
A faction of humanoids?
Yes.
Like people who live in Bognor?
No, it's like a murder of crows.
Like
it's a faction of humanoids.
Well, they've got to be at least humanoid-like because their ship, the design and the ship that you're in seems to be humanoid-like and take a humanoid form. But anyway, yeah, as I said, the kind of levels of the way the religious cult is structured is quite nicely realised, and I think that's well woven into the game. And then that displays itself with the different enemies. I think they're all like birds of prey generally. So there's ravens and crows at different levels, and yeah, like some of the powers are really interesting. One of the ones that I think makes it a bit more arcadey and makes it good kind of zipping around, jumping around the kind of dogfight sci-fi type power is the one where you can literally just teleport up behind one of your enemies. You just face in the direction of an enemy, press a button, and you'll teleport up behind them, and then you can gun them down, basically.
And do you whisper in there again, surprise?
Right. That's right one of my problems with the game. You do literally do that.
Right.
There's literally the main character.
What, you actually whisper?
Yes. Literally, you stumbled onto something which is actually true and is actually one of my major downfalls of the game. The main character literally does a load of ASMR whispering into the microphone.
Do you like the word?
You're dead now. I've just killed you. And it's like,
it's
okay,
awful.
that's a bit creepy.
It's so
and
bad.
then lots of other, like, it's basically her internal monologue. Whenever she internally monologues, you hear it in whisper form. Monologues. You hear it in whisper form, and that's weird and creepy, and I don't know why they went with that option. Like, she just had her talking out loud like she was talking to herself, and that would have been fine. But anyway, yeah, other than that, I've quite enjoyed it. I wouldn't go, oh my god, I'd definitely go and pay, £50 for this game, but if you can get it for the £20 or so, or just play it on Game Pass, it's definitely worth some time and stuff, especially if you like arcade sci-fi shooters, as I do.
I believe you can also get a demo for free as well if you're on the fence.
Oh.
According to chorusthegame.com, on Steam, Epic Game Store, Xbox or PlayStation, you can get a demo. I think the thing with this game, I kind of quite like the idea of the arcade shooter thing, but I kind of got the impression that from what little I've seen of this game, it wasn't quite sure what it wants to be.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like they've taken a kind of third-person spaceship shooter, I should say, and went, we're gonna make this cool, fun little arcadey game, and then turned it into a sort of RPG, and then simplified the controls so much that I went, wow, this is a really good HD remake of a PlayStation 1 classic. Oh,
wow.
It's not.
Okay.
No, this is a new game. With that voice acting, this is a new modern game. Okay.
With
Whatever.
this voice acting. Is this the voice acting?
As I said,
the thing annoys me so much.
Yeah, it shows its budget. The whisper thing's annoying. I wish they'd patched that out. But other than that,
my
I
favourite
think,
word is?
as I said, the game opens up a bit, but it also comes together a bit more. Like, I think the gameplay makes more sense as you've got a few of those powers unlocked, and without it
Dan,
feels
stop
a bit
whispering.
bare
I'm going to
bones.
slap you.
So I think it doesn't show put its best foot forward first. Like, I think it's one of those games where it should have given you a good chunk of time with your powers at their heights and then strip them away. I know we often don't like that mechanic, but at least I think it would have showed itself a bit better at first. And I think it's worth persevering with a little bit to get through that, because there's some enjoyable stuff in there. And as I said, the universe is quite cool. And yeah, it's an enjoyable game.
As a resident of the universe, yes, can confirm, is quite cool.
Yeah.
I played 2 hours of this and uninstalled it.
Oh, wow, okay. So, like, proper, full-on, right, I get this off of my hard drive. I don't want my life sullied by this.
Yeah, it's not like I went, no, thank you, and uninstalled it. I went, I think that's enough for today, and then went to bed, and then came back the next day and went, I have no desire to play this game ever again. I'm just going to get rid of this and make the space.
I had the
it's not a
I had
bad
the
game.
reverse thing. I tried it.
Scorched earth policy.
I tried it to see if I could free up some space by deleting it, and went, oh, actually, no, I like this. I'm going to play this for a few more nights, basically. But yeah.
Storage management with Tim Hibbs.
I mean, you've got to be a bit frugal with your management on Xbox Series S.
On the S.
Because they're not hugely
There's
massive.
not a
Although
lot
I have
to go
got
around.
an external
There's
hard
like
drive.
4
so
megabytes.
yeah, all
But it's
all
not
the
a
older
super
stuff.
It's not a super thickly drive, is it, Tim? It's not a super thickly drive.
Well, yeah.
I think it is, isn't
Oh
it?
no, that one isn't.
No, it's not a super duper sexy drive. I think you'll find it's limited by the bandwidth of USB 3.1.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an external, but hey, it houses all my old stuff. That's good enough.
Speaking of housing,
Hey,
Ooh.
segue of the year, Houseflipper. Now, this has been kicking about on Steam for a little while, I understand, and it's only recently made the jump over to console.
yeah, this has been in my Steam wish list for a very long time, and every time it pops up on a sale, and I go, I know this is a silly throwaway game for me. I don't know, should I buy it? I'll wait until it gets a little bit cheaper, and then, you know, much like with Nakira Blade Point we were talking about last week, jumps onto the Xbox Game Pass, and I've gone, yes, straight, right, yep, right in my basket, happy with that. And now it's become a weirdly, I did not know this game was so suited to me, and it's perfect for mobile Game Pass. So I've been playing this mostly on my to and fro to work. Anyway, the premise of Houseflipper is in the name. You are a kind of handyman / flipper of houses of sorts.
It's got to be ruddy handy to flip an entire house in one go.
Yeah, you got to bend with your knee. You got to lift with your knees, not with your back.
Yep.
Dangerous thing to do.
Oh, my hernia.
You quite done there?
Yeah, I'm done.
So
Taramasalad.
you get given a little home base to work from. You've got a laptop. You can pick up jobs from this laptop.
It's easy to flip a laptop, though, mate.
Begin with, you'll get sent out to do it. They're kind of training jobs, but they've got 2 different purposes. You've got training jobs and jobs to earn your kind of base amount of money to then go and purchase properties. So you'll get sent out to do things like, hey, can you clean my house? And you'll turn up and the house needs a bit of a clean. Or you'll turn up and it will say, hey, this house, I rented this house out to a bunch of students and now it's in massive disarray and they've stolen all the radiators. Please come in and fit a load of radiators.
Classic student move.
Yeah, some of these emails are really good to read through. And then as you start progressing, you're doing things
Have you read any and going, yeah, I did that once?
No, I've always been really good for that kind of thing. But I've lived with the sort that have done that kind of thing. But as you start progressing, you get to more things like, I need a new bedroom built. Can you knock down walls and build new walls in place and fit a dividing wall across this room and create a small bathroom?
Oh, I love a partition wall.
Yeah, do stuff like that. And
how far apart did you place the studs?
It's not that in depth.
Oh,
It's not that sort of game, Dan.
As
not those kind of studs, Tim.
it's a basic simulator. So as you progress, you're picking up more skills, but you're also picking up more money. When you've got enough money, then you can purchase an empty property, a rundown property, and then you go out there and you start working on it. And the idea is, of course, to flip the house for more money than you have sold it for. So you can go off and build bigger properties. Yes.
Are there any guest cameo voiceover appearances from TV's Homes Under the Hammer? Can you watch daytime TV whilst playing Homes Under the Hammer the game?
No voiceovers whatsoever.
No.
God damn it.
Yeah. But it is one of those...
Such a missed opportunity.
It's replaced unpacking for me. This is an oddly soothing game where, because there's not a lot
of... game.
Yeah, there's not a huge amount in the way of story. It's just the emails that you're reading through. It's more the work you're doing and the satisfaction of how much...
You say that about unpacking. That had I would argue that had quite a meaty story. It just didn't tell it.
I'm saying unpacking did. Houseflipper doesn't.
Right. Okay.
Is what I'm saying. This is more the satisfaction of just completely gutting a house and then renovating it in the way that you want it, and doing the before and after, and making seeing how much money you can make off that house for what you put in. And it's one of those, you don't even need to have the sound on for the game. Listen to a podcast or something while you're playing through. It's very much how I feel that power washer simulator game's going to be.
Yes.
But not just power washing. It's not too in-depth. It's things like you'll pick up a mop and you'll just wave the mop around and dirt will start disappearing. But then there's things like...
I wish cleaning a house was like that.
Yeah, like the most...
Just show the mop at the sink.
Yeah.
There we go. That. Wicked. Done. Yeah. Bosh.
Or it's got like the Sims kind of way of placing tiles and carpet, where you just click a square, hold down, and then drag across until you've filled the room, and then let go and the whole thing fills in. But then there are things like when you're doing painting or fitting tiles or knocking down walls and building walls, where you've got to... That's a lot more slower paced of how you do things. You might be laying an individual tile on a wall, or you might be doing painting one stripe at a time, but you can upgrade those skills as you go on. The more you do them, you gain skill points, you can funnel them into different types of skills. It is an incredibly satisfying game, and one that I really, really like, and it's probably going to live on the Xbox for a while. But as I said, the majority of the playthrough I'm getting on this is actually mobile on our Game Pass.
Yeah, I picked this up because my missus was interested in it. It's one of those games where because it's in first person, she won't play it, but she'll happily, sort of play second player and kind of direct traffic a little bit in terms of what we're doing. And yeah, she really likes like house flipping shows. We watched that. Was it Fast Flip or whatever it was on Channel 4 recently? And
sounds like a really low-budget version of a Fast and Furious movie.
It was a Channel 4 flipping show where the contestants
it's about profit and family.
There was 6 contestants, and they had to make as much profit from their initial 100 grand they were given in a year, and the team that won another 100 grand, basically. Anyway. But yeah, it was an interesting show about flipping houses. But I thought this was okay. The very first thing I did in the game was accidentally pick up the sink and the unit that was in, and then not be able to put that back, which didn't create the best first impression.
You silly goose, Timothy.
But like as you say, it's a very kind of just zone out and get on with a task, and it kind of works. And as you say, like having those unlocks makes a difference as well, because being able to upgrade any of the tasks that you don't like or takes a bit too long, like cleaning up or painting and stuff like that. That was good. The fact that you could double the size of the brush effectively and paint more at once and stuff like that. So yeah. I could see us playing more of this in the future as well. And as you say, it kind of fits in the same mold as unpacking, even though unpacking had a bit more charm and a bit more of a concise thing as well. But yeah,
there was some emotion to it.
It was well emotion.
Yeah. The most in-depth thing I think you can do in this is fitting a shower, because you'll put the thing in place and then it will go, now you need to assemble these, then you need to put the screws in, then you need to fit the top, and each time you're doing it, it kind of zooms into a point and then it will highlight blue, and you just click on the blue point until it's finished doing the action. So yeah, showers are incredibly tedious in those games, but everything else is pretty quick to do. Yeah, because it sounds like a game that I've been kind of the inverse of a game that I've been playing recently. So it's just interesting to have the two next to each other. I mean, can you like make real epic DIY fails if you forget to turn the mains off at the breaker and install an electric shower? Is it instant death? No, I think it's more a case of if you leave, because you can put in fittings for a sink, say, and then it has safety stoppers in there. And then if you take those out to fit a sink and then get distracted doing something else, you'll come back and there'll be a little pool of water. That's about the most mess I think you can make. Or accidentally destroying the wrong wall. I've done that a couple of times.
To be fair, my house was a Barrett's new build, and there was stuff they did which I'd love to see if you can recreate in a game. Just see how stupid it is. To be honest with you, Barrett's House Builder Simulator would be incredible.
I tell you what, this thing could deal with. I'd like a multiplayer mode of some kind where you can kind of like this house flipping show that Tim's talking about. I want to kind of speed flip the houses together, but also I think it'd be funny if, say, Tim is putting the finer details to his painting, and in the other room I could be knocking down all his walls.
Like Minecraft House Flipper is what you want, yeah?
Yeah, kind of that. House Flipper, definitely recommend. It's on Game Pass, it's on Steam. I don't know if it's come to PlayStation yet. And the TV show Tim was talking about, I think, is George Clark's Flipping Fast.
That's the one.
Tee-hee-hee. Aren't they cads, those lot of Channel 4? Anyway, Tim.
Yes.
We're going to talk about a game that you talked about last week, but I've only recently had a chance to dip my toes into the water, not my fingers
dip your
into
fingers
the water. I don't know why I do that.
That's what I did. Fingers in the water.
Don't usually dip your fingers.
Returnal. Man, that is a game that is worth the price of admission for PS Plus XS Pro Max ever I saw one.
Yes.
What a corking game that is.
I assume.
Seriously.
The one thing I'll say over and above what I said last week is I am a bit more keen and a bit more pro this game in terms of, I still question its £70 validity, but it is definitely a good chunky game, and I'm very pleased with it so far. I have played a lot more of it this week as well, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I went into it pretty blind, actually.
I don't recommend
and
that.
I've been...
I'd open your eyes when playing video games, Dan. Just top tip.
And thanks for the pro tip, Tim.
And I'd dip your fingers into the...
Would you? Not my toes, just my fingers. But surely I've got to be careful, right? If I'm going to it with my eyes closed, is it going to make more sense for my fingers to be dipped into something first rather than my toes? No? I would have thought that would have been less hazardous, because I could probably feel losing an arm a lot easier than losing a leg.
You might be getting a manicure and you need to soften your fingies up.
Bloody hell.
little finger
You
buff.
get a moustache comb and look what happens to you. All right?
I'm not saying I'm getting one.
Right, but you need emotions, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not watching on video.
I've seen Better Call Saul.
I have.
Anyway.
So I don't get that reference.
Anyway. Returnal, if you have got PSXS Pro Plus Max, give it a try.
Yeah.
Seriously, one other game as good as that on this service at some point in the next 12 months, and I consider it's paid for itself, quite frankly.
Stray coming out later this month, and then you're
happy,
it
is.
Basically. Yeah,
I'm a happy little boy.
Yeah.
I'm a happy little boy. But no, really, I it's such a pleasant surprise. And I was worried it was going to be style over substance, but I really like the way they tell the story in it and how it keeps you guessing. Great game. But you probably said this all last week.
As I said, I played a bit more this week, but I really thought I was going to beat the first boss last night, and I did not.
Yeah, I'm up to big first boss.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a bell end.
You should team up in co-op.
Got him down to his form.
I keep making the mistake of rescuing people and then summon a big,
huge, they can go
evil
badly.
Thing that just hands my ass to me at the first opportunity.
I generally wait until I'm still ready to go to the boss to try any of those, because some of them can be tough.
Because I'm finding I'm still this is probably by design. Still get my head around what's a permanent unlock, what's a non-permanent unlock, because it doesn't make it massively clear. As far as it might just be because I'm a middle-aged bloke and lack the cognitive ability to have due information go in my brain.
I think I misspoke or was just incorrect last week when I said about because there's a system in it where if you don't get shot, and I think it goes up one level every 3 enemies, that it stacks a bonus for you for not doing so. And I said it doesn't enhance your movement, but I think one of the top levels of that does, and it also enhances your vision, a few other things along the way, and your proficiency and stuff.
Varifocals, love those.
Yeah. That whole system works really well, but it's weird to get your head round. And like, for instance, last night, the reason why I failed is because I tried to make advantage of the upgrades that I had, which were mainly based around melee. But yeah, I shouldn't have done that, or should have chosen other upgrades. But it's like very much a case of, okay, I've got through all of this area now, and now I can explore this. And it's kind of piecing together, okay, I died over here doing this, so I won't do that. And I died over here doing this, I don't think I'm ready to do that. And I can't go over there yet. So, and it kind of piecing together all the mistakes that you've made, and then going, okay, now I can go on a good run where I've got the equipment, I've got the ether, I've got all the things that I need to actually get to the boss and try and win. I so thought I was going to do it yesterday. I had a health pack, I was stacked. But yeah, just those wrong upgrades just didn't help.
But the first time I got to the boss, I got to his final... I only had a quarter of his final health bar left.
Ooh.
And I whiffed it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I whiffed it. Anyway, yeah, I did. It was disgusting. I had a horrible feeling I transferred energy into matter. It's one of those parts, you know what I mean? Anyway, I'm going to talk about one game very quickly, because it's newer.
Oh.
F1 22.
Oh, we should have led with that.
F1 22. That is a racing game of
122
cars. F1 space 22. So
it's
Formula
in
1
space. Oh, that is
22,
different.
if you will.
He's hilarious.
This is the first outing of the F1 franchise under EA's auspices, and in true EA fashion, it's pretty much a reskin of last year's game with a new soundtrack.
Ah, okay.
Well, that's a little bit that is a little bit harsh. I mean, to the untrained eye, that's what it looks like. So obviously, if you follow Formula One, there is a massive rule change this year.
It's really easy. They just go round and round in circles.
Yes, that's exactly it, Tim. But
That's
the way
NASCAR.
they generate downforce and all the technical rules has completely changed, meaning that the cars are bigger, they're heavier, but it's easier to overtake and do fun stuff. So there's been a bit of a change to obviously the car models and the car handling. And they have slightly prettified some of the tracks, which is good. Any mention of Russia or Russian drivers has been nuked from orbit, which is not that unsurprising because that's happened in real life. It's probably a bad choice of words, that actually.
Yeah. That's what I was laughing at. Maybe don't go with that.
Yeah. Maybe don't go with that. But anyway, but it's, to all intents and purposes, is pretty much the same game as last year, except with the really, really quite surprisingly good story mode, Breaking Point. There's a little jeu de mots for you.
Starring Keanu Reeves.
Yes, why not? Removed
and Patrick
from
Swayze from Beyond the Grave.
Yeah, exactly.
Zombie Swayze.
Yeah. So there's a shame that's been removed, but there's still like the My Team mode where you can be kind of manager driver, run your own team, which is still good fun. And the big thing that should get, well, on PC at least, it gets a big mention, is actual proper ray tracing during the game, not just in cutscenes, not just in static bits where it's easy to keep that frame rate going, but actually properly in the game. And
did you hear that, Gran Turismo?
If you've got a graphics, yeah, no, well, quite exactly. I mean, it's, you have to get it going at a decent lick. You do have to enable all of the fancy upscaling tech that's on modern GPUs. So you're never going to be able to render full-on ray tracing at 4K.
Not with that attitude.
Not unless you've got 15 graphics cards, mate. I think it's probably the way forward. I mean, just for reference, my PCs, I've got an 11700K CPU and a RTX 3080.
Oh,
and
someone's earning.
You know, I actually managed to get both of those before prices went mad. So actually got them on RRP, which is quite nice. But yeah, I mean, even I have to have like DLSS on, which is the super sampling tech that NVIDIA has, and that's the only way I can get it to a rock solid 60. But man, it looks incredible. It looks the ray tracing really, really makes things pop, and it's kind of like subtle effect that you don't probably actively notice it compared to like other reflection tech that you see in games, but it's all these subtle things just come together to make it a much more immersive experience. Well, that is when it works, because it is really very, very buggy and crashy, even on consoles, not just on PC. Like, it will just randomly crash out of nowhere, and it won't always crash at the same point. Sometimes it'll crash on loading, sometimes it'll crash halfway through a race. Sometimes
they do that in F1, to be fair, so I've seen that happen.
You are a moron.
Happened this weekend.
Yeah, can happen. This weekend, in fact, it happened. This weekend just gone. It happened in rather a big way. They tried reinstalling the graphic drivers, didn't help. Thankfully everyone is all right, otherwise I wouldn't be joking about it.
Yeah.
But it's a shame, because it's when it comes together, it's great, but it is a bit of a buggy mess at the moment, and I'd probably advise holding on. And I probably would just tell you to buy last year's game, unless you're a mega big F1 fan who wants to kind of have a drive around in the latest models of the new cars. But the other thing on the PC, at least, and they've already said, Cody's in EA, that this is not coming to PS5, is VR. Now, I have a Quest 2, which I very rarely use, and I very much made the mistake of just assuming I was going to have my F1 legs when I whack my VR legs when I whack my headset on my face yesterday. Been a long while since I felt really travel sick. It's I mean, you're going obviously like the bloody clappers in an F1 car, and it's thing as you turn around and your body doesn't get the rotational acceleration, your brain goes, something's not right here. Why don't we vomit? And it's thankfully I didn't, but it's really I mean, if you like F1, the fact seeing everything in 3D exactly from the driver's point of view is a really incredible experience, especially with all of the ray tracing turned on as well. If you're super sampling, it looks amazing. But do make sure you get a VR legs first, otherwise it's a one-stop shop to the one-stop something to the something that involves vomit. I don't know.
I have a question, Mr. Dan. Did you do that tethered to your PC, presumably?
I was tethered
to the cooling.
Exactly. I mean, the ball gag got in the way of kind of mounting the VR helmet on correctly, but I cope with it. I'm a professional. No, I did. I mean, you can. Yeah. I mean, the way Oculus Link works is that it doesn't treat your VR headset as a native display. It's actually a compressed video feed anyway.
Yeah.
So there are still some artifacts. There's a little bit of lag. It's pretty good, really, all things considering. But yeah, I mean, I completely understand where you're going with that. Was it just lag? I don't think it was. I think it's just me being a VR noob who hasn't got his VR legs anymore and feeling a little bit dicky in the old tum-tum as a result. But yeah, I mean, I think there's some nice new technical bells and whistles with this year's iteration of the F1 game. Is it a massive improvement in gameplay terms over last year? No, probably not. Would I get it if you weren't a big F1 fan? Probably not. I would just get the last year's game, which is a really solid, really good racing game, which you can get for about a 10th or 20th of the price at the moment. So that would be my advice. It's a bit too much of a buggy mess to really recommend. They've also really lent into microtransactions in a very EA way as well, which is disappointing. But we'll see where the franchise goes in the years to come. Anyway, done. Bosh.
I've got a super quick update from last week because me and Tim were talking through the Nintendo Partner Direct, and there was the announcement of the release date for Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, which I mentioned, hey, I should really get round to playing that previous Mario plus Rabbids game that I started and never finished. And usually when we say that, we never do. I started it and I beat it, and then I beat the expansion, and that's a really good game. And it's on the Nintendo trial this week, so you can play that for free for a couple of days. Recommend. Probably be picking up the sequel in October, I think it is.
And very, very quickly, one other game I will just comment about that I've been playing, finally finished, was Hard Space Shipbreaker, which is kind of like the inverse of Houseflipper. It's all about you've got a spaceship, you need to turn it into scrap. well, not scrap, because that implies you've done things very wrong, but salvage all the valuable components in a way that allows them to be upcycled. Because
and then split it into 6 flats and mark them all up for about 1,500.
Absolutely. Make sure, put the application into the council to turn it in for a spaceship of multiple occupancy and
Lovely.
basically. But it's
nice
it's a really
walls.
fun. Yeah, no, it's a really fun, good shot game. I think I spoke about this on the show, a year or so back when it was still in early access. It's now in version 1.0. And really the big change they've made is kind of there's a proper story in there now. And, I mean, I can see it's a story that might...
Any whispering in the story?
There's no whispering in the story.
Sold.
But it's a very on-the-nose take of the suppression of workers' unions by big corporations.
Ah.
So, in the world in which we live, it's
Unionise.
quite apropos, really.
I like it.
So, it's got quite an interesting story behind it. I think it's one that might turn some people off, but I think it's a really, perhaps unionisation in the UK. Well, it's an interesting. All I would say is that unionisation occupies a very interesting place in cultural psyche, both in the US and the UK, and I think this is a really nice look at what that means and how people can view unions as kind of an evil thing getting in the way, or unions can sometimes push too far, and it explores both of those aspects. And I think it's just a really interesting game that is, at its core, really fun to play. Taking these big spaceships to bits is really satisfying, especially when it's kind of like an inverse puzzle game or an inverse Tetris game where you've got to kind of work out how best to disassemble everything in the right order, and also just take into account all like the environmental hazards. Like, you don't want to make sure you depressurize all the airlocks, otherwise doors explode in your face.
Love that.
And like learning how to disassemble like the engine of a spacecraft in the right order so it doesn't explode. It's a really good fun game. I think it's about 20 quid-ish at the moment. 20, 25 quid is what I want to say. Or if you've got Game Pass Ultimate or Game Pass PC, it's on that, you lucky son of a gun.
Yay.
So, well worth checking out. I had good times with this game.
Good.
Me likey.
Should we have a super cut down version of the news?
Please, let's.
Okay.
Nothing's happened this week. It's been a very quiet week.
Well, we got a couple of things. The problem is there's a couple of things happening, but they're happening as we and after we record tonight. So let's talk about that
Thanks
next week.
for that.
PlayStation Indies. There was a few things announced, a few things clarified. We can't go into too much depth, but we got Sea of Stars. That is coming to PS4,
Looks
PS5.
cool.
That was previously announced to other platforms. That has been pushed back to next year now. We don't have an exact date for it, but next year. Shim is coming to PS4 and PS5 also. Cult of the Lamb is going to be out August 11th for both platforms as well.
I just remembered something.
What's that?
I forgot to do my homework, which was play Cult of the Lamb, so I will play Cult of the Lamb.
You got time. We'll talk about it next week.
I've got to play Live Alive, which I also learned how to pronounce this week. I think so. If I
I thought it was Live Alive, which makes more sense, but no, apparently it's Live Alive or Live Alive.
Live.
Live Alive. Live Alive. Live Alive? I don't know. I think it's Live Alive because
Tim, stop now. Stop. Deep breath.
Shout out to the bootleg Beatles that were on this morning and played Get Back just after the announcement of Boris Johnson's stepping down. Pretty good. Get Back, Jojo. Signals, that is coming to PS4 on the 27th of October. Probably the biggest announcement, in my opinion, is the Tomorrow Children Phoenix Edition. So if you don't know, the Tomorrow Children was a PS4, PlayStation, I think it was a free game on PS4, if I remember rightly, for PlayStation Plus subscribers. Unfortunately, there was a very quick drop-off. The servers got shut down. The publisher pulled the game. The guy who developed the game or was in charge of the game managed to get the rights back to it and has released it with all the DLC and everything, or is going to release it with all the DLC and everything. PS4, PS5, 6th of September. So if you didn't get a chance to try it out last time, you thought, drat, I meant to try that, but they pulled it. Now's your chance.
Drat! I didn't get time before they pulled it.
I like the fact they called it the Phoenix Edition as well.
Yes, Rising from the Ashes. Curse to Golf, which I'm really excited about. That is coming out PS4, PS5, 18th of August. I've heard a lot of things from the developer saying stuff that excites me, like this is a Nintendo game that Nintendo never made. That's how he viewed it.
I've just realised that's a golf game coming out on 9/18 or 18/9.
Well done.
So that's 9 holes and 18 holes. It's a good day for a golf game. That's all I'm saying.
I'd imagine it's probably entirely coincidental.
I don't imagine
Inscription is coming to the PS4 and PS5 some point. No date at all. Right. Proper news. Here we go.
I'm pleased about that too.
Right.
But anyway.
God.
I have a theory that the show was dragging out, so we'd avoid this. Forspoken, one of Dan's picks for this year's games he's looking forward to.
I mean, is it coming out?
No, it's been delayed to 2023. January 24th, 2023.
That's not too bad.
God damn it.
Yeah, it's not too bad in terms of delay. Unfortunately, it now makes you level with me on our predictions.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I am the winner.
More exciting news, though. More exciting news for more people and not just me. God of Ragnarok is officially coming out God of War Ragnarok is officially coming out on the 9th of November for PlayStation 4 and 5. This news was accompanied by a new CG trailer, so not in-game footage, which shows Kratos and Atreus fighting off the massive wolf, whose name escapes me. Fenrir. It's hard to say. A lot of names in Norse mythology, I find.
Fenrir.
Yeah, Fenrir sounds right. There you go.
I'm so excited for this game.
Now I've finally played through God of War, I am very excited for this, and I may go back and do some side stories.
Have you only recently just done a playthrough of it?
Yeah, we spoke about it this year.
Yeah.
I waited till I got my my PS5 before I could play it in all the goodness.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh, such a good game.
It's very
such
good.
Such a good game.
Good axing.
We knew about the free-to-play Division game that's coming some point down the line for all the major platforms.
So bad.
However, we've got another Division game, which is called The Division Resurgence. That is officially coming to iOS and Android. If you told me this was coming a year ago, I probably wouldn't have been so bothered. But as I've been putting so much time into Diablo on mobile, I'm actually kind of interested by this, and especially as it follows. It's meant to follow on from the initial Division storyline, and it's set in New York. So we're going back to New York. We're playing on mobile phones. As long as it has Razer Kishi support, I will be a very happy chappy. And the screenshots look really good.
Here.
Although they're Ubisoft screenshots, so they're probably not really screenshots.
There's kind of the video for it is the usual slightly get out of jail statement of this is gameplay engine footage. Read and play it what you will. Yeah, it's knowing how excited Ubisoft were. Ubi about NFTs, I'm a little concerned about how heavily this is going to lean into microtransactions and pay to win. So I'm going to say I may be proved wrong.
Okay, fair enough.
But it's got to make its money somehow. So I'm going to say.
I'll put a link in the show notes, but you can sign up to the alpha beta testing for the game, which I have done. Hopefully I'll hear back about that. Well,
I might do it as well.
There you go. And a little rumor.
We will then.
A little rumor just for Dan this week. According to the Game Post, Bungie have partnered with NetEase, and they're going to create a Destiny mobile game first-person shooter.
Now, we don't know it's Destiny is the only thing I would say.
Okay.
It is a first-person mobile shooter. They didn't put the word Destiny on it, although a lot of people are assuming that it will be.
Might be Marathon.
And probably the time would line up with when the current Destiny saga is going to be wrapping up. So that might be their persistent universe. Other than surprise, company likes the idea of games that will make them some more money is pretty unremarkable. We'll see, right? I mean, Bungie are making new FPS. What a surprise! In the 2020s, it's probably going to have it's going to be free to play, but a bit play to win. Surprise. We'll see, right? Again, just like if it's got Razer Kishi support and not just touchscreen, I'll probably be a happy person. Have I got high hopes for it? Not particularly. We'll see what it is. More details when there are actually some details.
Yeah, I think it's just Diablo's made me more optimistic towards mobile gaming than I've been in a long time, because I've been really enjoying it.
I've fallen off Immortal pretty hard.
Okay, I play it every morning. I really enjoy it. just keeping up with the stats and getting the clan going and all that kind of stuff. It's been fun. I enjoy it. But yeah, Bungie do have a bit of a habit of, we like our microtransactions, especially in Destiny 2. And Netties are very good at making microtransaction-heavy games. So there you go.
Yeah,
that's all the news.
Sweet.
Quick one this week.
Yeah, it was.
Nice.
I liked it. It was nice. Nice.
Stop whispering. I won't
Shall
stand for
we start wrapping this show up? Because we've run out of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
And we're already at 50 minutes. So, as we're wrapping the show up, I really think, it's our opportunity to remind you about the wondrous world that we have at BRB and ways in which you can celebrate that wondrousness by attaching our logo to your body. Yes, that's right. That's what we're asking you to do. Tim, tell me where I can festoon my person with T-shirts and things.
Go to our merch store, which is on tpublic.com/stores/BRB. We can, find a variety of designs on a variety of different objects. Some of them T-shirts and other things like mugs, stickers, phone cases, laptop cases, and many other things as well. So go check us out there. And it's a good place to go. So that is tpublic.com/stores/BRB.
Do that. All of those things. Do all of those things. And on Tabletop Tuesday, Tim, because every week has a Tuesday in it.
Yes.
And every Tuesday has a tabletop in it, which means every Tuesday is Tabletop Tuesday.
That is somewhat true.
Tell us about it.
Maybe. Anyway, but
name me a Tuesday that hasn't had a tabletop in it in living memory. Somewhere in the world, every Tuesday for at least the past 500 years has involved a tabletop in some shape or form.
Well, for the last 5 or 6 years, and then with a slight gap for COVID, we have been doing an event called Tabletop Tuesday. And each and every Tuesday, we have a different feature game. And if you play that feature game that evening, you have a chance of winning a copy of the game at the end of the evening. This week's game is a little game called Bricks. It is a Tetris kind of themed roll and write game, which is definitely very in the wheelhouse.
My favourite
for
children's
Loading
show
Bar,
character.
Where we do our events. It's a definitely good one. It should be a very good one to come along to. There is more details on the top left-hand corner of bigredbarrel.com, and then you can also come along and join our meetup group, which is over 2,000 members now, and you can get some more details there.
That's a lot of
games as they come out each week. Also, just a really big thank you to our guest last week, Scott, who was showing off his game Swatch. It's a set collection game about collecting colours and mixing colours together. It's a really good little game. It's one I backed on Kickstarter myself. And it went down really well.
You two have reached the giddy heights of being a Tim Hibbs investment.
Yeah,
that's right.
We had 2 to 3 games on the go throughout the evening. Went down really well. He was really pleased. Everyone was really happy. It was a really good night. Best way to learn a game is from the designer themselves, so you don't have to read the rules. This is a very good way to learn. But yeah, we will have more guests in future weeks as well. We don't have a guest this week, but we do have a good game. As I said, more details on our site and on meetup.com. Search for Tabletop Tuesdays.
Splendid.
Cool. Did you know that you can get in contact with us and we can read your questions out on this show, and also you can give us feedback and all that kind of thing? Yeah. There are various ways of doing that. Give me new
words to whisper. I want new words to whisper.
You can find us at bigredbarrel.com. We have a comment section on this here post. And you can also, while you're there, take a look at our link to Discord. We've got a Facebook page, facebook.com/BigRedBarrel. We've got Twitter at Big Red Barrel. And we've got YouTube, Big Red Barrel TV. However, if you look in the show notes of this here episode, you will find links at the very bottom, and that will take you to all the places, as well as any handy links that we might have spoken about, like the the Division sign up, all those kind of things. I tend to put in there as well. This week, Spiky Chris, he says, "I don't have a question. I have a PSA."
Well, thanks, Chris. Thanks, mate. That's really good. So the whole purpose is we want a question. He says he doesn't have a question.
No, he has a public service announcement. It says the Rocket League team Spring Major LAN was won by Moist Esports. I just want Dan to say that.
The Rocket League Spring Major LAN was won by Moist Esports.
I think he only wanted you to say the end of that, but that's all he cares about.
You can say it again.
Moist.
Ah.
There's something missing from this. Oh, there you go.
Ah. Yeah.
Why does it trouble you so much, that me saying that word?
Why
Tim?
do you trouble me so much? That is a question we could spend a whole podcast not answering very well, Dan. So
don't give us a challenge like that, Tim. You might have to follow through on that.
Andy Baines on Discord.
An hour of why Dan is so disturbing.
Andy Baines on Discord.
Which is completely unrelated to the fact where he doesn't practice medicine anymore.
Andy Baines on Discord has an actual question, and he said Tim mentioned about buying a PlayStation Classic, which got me thinking. I went on to look at the price of some of the PS3 games. I like the original 2 Infamous games, and they appear to be only streaming in the premium version of PS Plus. Anyone able to confirm if you can buy many of the classic games, or have Sony locked a load behind the subscription service? Yes and no.
I wonder what answer this will be.
Yes. So the way the tiers work, you've got your base tier, your mid tier, and your higher tier. The premium version is what you can play PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Classic games on. However, PlayStation 3, you can only stream the games, you can't download them. Whereas the PlayStation 1, 2, and PSP games, they are available for download. Looking at a handful of them, it seems if they have ever existed on the PlayStation Store, then you can buy them and download them if they're available for PlayStation 4. However, there are some that were never available, and you have to subscribe to the service to get them, i.e., if you want Siphon Filter, you can purchase that, or you can get it through the subscription service. If you want Tekken 2, you have to get the subscription service. Fair enough. It has to be the premium to get it as well.
The XS Pro Max edition.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're using much more easy to understand, much more ironically easy to understand nomenclature for PS Plus.
We've got one more, and it's from our good friend Ed, who will be appearing on episode 500 in the future. He says, with the proliferation of DLC, do you still always think it is warranted to buy a game up front, or wait until there's a Game of the Year version of a collection? I think it is always smart to wait for a Game of the Year collection, especially if you can wait a little bit longer and pick that game up when that goes down in price as well.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends. My get out jail free card here. It depends. I think if it's a game you're already interested in and are going to get enjoyment out of the zeitgeist of the new stuff, like me with Destiny, for example. I enjoy playing the new expansions as they come out, so I can be involved in that side of everyone discovering the stuff. If that doesn't really bother you, then wait for the Game of the Year edition. And I think not only with the proliferation of DLC, but with the proliferation of subscription-based game libraries, I think we're going to see a lot of these games it will come out in like their Game of the Year edition will probably be released on PS Plus or Xbox Game Pass, or at the very least, the base game will be with the subscription, and you would only pony up for the DLC. However, that would mean if the game left subscription, you can use the DLC.
Yeah,
long story short, I'd wait a bit.
We tend to pick up our games a bit earlier because we want to talk about them on the show. I think the only there is a thing of FOMO, which is something that I hate, but fear of missing out. You want to play the game that everyone else is playing so you can talk about the game, be in the zeitgeist with them, be in the hype mode with them. And also, if it's something that's, say, like Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, and I know a lot of people worried about spoilers for that game. So you want to play through and get through the story as quick as you can so you can make sure the game isn't spoiled for you.
That can be hard, though.
Luckily, in a lot of circles, I find a lot of people don't spoil games. Movies and TV shows, but not games in my circles. Where there might be the odd meme, which you'll see and go, I don't get that. I assume it's going to have something to do with the game story. And then when you're playing, go, okay, that's kind of funny at the time, I guess.
Yeah.
So I get those moments. However, if you can wait it out and pick out some... I mean, for instance, I was going to buy Crash Bandicoot 4. My girlfriend really wanted to play that. But we hadn't played through all the previous games that came out on the PlayStation 4 for the re-release. So we got that for like a tenner, started playing through those games, and coming to the end of those, and Crash Bandicoot 4 got added to PlayStation Plus. So
Boo,
never
and
paid
indeed
for
you
it.
are.
Yeah. So there are exactly like you said, Dan, there are happy situations like that. I get when people want to buy something day one because of the hype and the spoilers and what have you. But if you can wait it out, yeah, totally go for it.
Yeah.
And never buy a game for £70.
No, never. That's just stupid. Timothy.
Only
Timothy.
one. No, I
would just like to
think
give
I
you
have,
one exciting update. One exciting update. Doesn't look like I'm getting my Steam Deck this week.
Oh, what a shame.
Hiss.
According to a tool that allows you to work out how far in the queue you are versus the orders that have now been fulfilled. Okay, it's quite exciting. This time last week, I was 40.87% of the way there. On Monday or Tuesday, it jumped to 72.52%. And today, it's 94.16%.
Getting
But
closer.
next week, who knows, even by next show, I might have a Steam Deck in my sweaty little hand. And that'll be exciting.
Good.
I like that we've got a tool for knowing where you are in a queue. It's very, very British of you. Well done.
Mate, I'm British. Sod off. Sod off.
Love a queue.
Jesus. You have no opinion.
Yeah.
You pre-ordered a New Year.
I'd queue up to kick Boris in the butt.
Right.
Would you do that? I'd do that. That would be a long queue I'd join. Just get out.
I would. I mean, it'd be quite a soft butt to kick, I would imagine. There's quite a lot of padding on that.
I could kick him pretty hard.
Really?
Yeah. I think he
You
deserves
reckon
it.
you could kick his butt off? Is that what you're saying? You could kick Bojo's
maybe
arse
not
off?
off, but in a bit.
Right, in a bit. Do you know how arses work, Tim?
No, not
Convex.
really.
No,
I mean,
really.
you're the
There's
medical
a very
one around
specific-
here, Dan.
In order to get an arse to go inside itself, there's a very specific place you have to make contact with it.
Right.
Oh.
And there's quite a lot of folding and pushing that you would need to do to get it to go in on itself.
Lovely.
I think you're confusing
might not want to
arses
do
with
with
black
Bojo.
holes, Dan. I don't want you to mix
No,
those
they're
two up.
slightly similar
There could
things.
be disastrous consequences for the unspecification of yourself. I can't say that word.
With the what?
Unspecification.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I think that this is
Anyway,
a clear sign, ladies and gentlemen, that we should bugger off.
Spaghettification.
Tim,
That's the
Tim,
word.
Tim, wakey.
Yes.
Tim, wakey, time for your medicine. All right, okay, good.
Hold on. Tim's winding up for the kick.
There we are.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Anyway,
I'll tighten that
thank
up in
you.
post.
Yeah, good. What, the whole show? It needs it.
Oh, well, I do that anyway.
Right, we're done. And so are you, probably. So we're going to leave your earlugs alone until this time next week. So thank you ever so much for listening to us. Make sure you click on all the things in the show notes like Coleman said. And all that really remains is for me to remind you that I have been Dan.
I might have been Tim.
Ah, the amount of chaos I have been chaos.
A lot of chaos. Well
Expansion coming
manicured,
to Strangers
moustached chaos.
Final Fantasy Strangers of Origin. Good.
That is the no, because he's so chaotic. There's a bit of order within the chaos. He makes even order chaos. Is how chaotic Coleman is.
It's all well manicured up here, chaos underneath. Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, on that strangely metaphysical note, we're gonna go. So, thank you for listening to the show, and until next time, dear listeners, toodle bye.
Your ears are quite welcome for the podcasting goodness that you just heard. Why not roll on over to BigRedBarrel.com for more podcasts, news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, BigRedBarrel.com.
Avoid the purple haze, as my parents used to warn me back in the old days.